Evening. I have the time as 7:30. I will call the public hearing and regular business meeting of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia for Monday, February 14th, 2022 to order. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. First, we will start with the invocation to be given by Chef Hank Reed. Yes. Good to see you.
You too. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give thanks once again for the simple things, the opportunity to wake up every day in a great community. We ask that you continue to bless our families, bless us with health. Lord, I ask that you bless this council and all the members of the city that work so hard to do what's best. I ask you bless their hearts and their minds as they discern the information that they take in so that they can make decisions that benefit this community. Lord, I ask you continue to bless this community. For all those who struggle and suffer, I ask that you cover them with faith and hope that things will be better one day. And I just ask that you continue to bless our hearts, that we look to our neighbors to do what we can to serve them. I ask that you continue to bless this city and all the wonderful things that you are allowing to happen, that these things develop for the benefit and the good of all in the community. And I ask these and many blessings in your son, Jesus Christ's name, amen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Hank. And now we'll have the pledge to the flag. We have two members of Boy Scout Troop 50, Connor and Nathaniel, that are going to come up and lead us in the pledge tonight. Thank you, gentlemen. We have nothing under ceremonial matters, so we'll move to the minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the January 20, 2022 special called meeting, January 24th, 2022 meetings, and the January 29th, 2022 work retreat.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have no invited guests or committee or department reports, so we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda for the February 14th, 2022 meeting.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have quite a few items under our public hearing. For those who aren't used to coming to a city council meeting, these are all first readings, and what the City of Snellville's ordinance requires 2 readings of any change in an ordinance. And this first reading is really just perfunctory. We just waive the reading and move it to our next meeting agenda, so there won't be any public comment or any other action taken tonight. So we'll have item A, first reading UDO 22-01, consideration and recommendation on proposed amendments to the text of the Unified Development Ordinance for the City of Snellville, Georgia, adopted 10/26/2020 and last amended 10/25/2021, affecting Chapter 11, General Provisions, Chapter 200, Zoning and Land Use, and Chapter 400, Land Development. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading of UDO 22-01 and place it on the agenda for the February 28th meeting.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have item B, first reading CP 22-01, consideration and recommendation on a proposed amendment to Table 2, future land use categories and corresponding zoning districts, page 53, of the Snellville 2040 Comprehensive Plan, adopted February 11th, 2019, and last amended October 26, 2020, to amend the appropriate and considered future land use categories for the RS5 Single-Family Residential District. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive first reading on CP 2201 and to put it on the agenda for second read at the February 28th meeting.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll take Christie on that one. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We have item C, first reading, SUP 22-01, consideration and recommendation on application by RCG Snellville LLC, requesting a special use permit to develop and operate a kidney dialysis facility for DaVita Dialysis Center, and request for variances from Section 205-1 Town Center Overlay District requirements of the Snellville Unified Development Ordinance for a proposed .76 acre outparcel in the Snellville Oaks Shopping Center, zoned BG General Business District, and located in the Town Center Overlay District at 2135 East Main Street, Snellville, tax parcel 5038174. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading on SUP 22-01 and to place this item on the agenda February 28th, 2022 for a second reading and public hearing.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
With a motion and a second, I will call for a vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. It is 6 in favor and none opposed. I told you this was pretty routine. Item D, first reading RZ 22-01, consideration and recommendation on application by Alliance Engineering and Planning, the applicant, and PLG Partners LLC, the property owner, requesting to amend the official zoning map for the city of Snellville, Georgia, from BG General Business District to OP Office Professional District, and request for variances from the buffer requirements for a 2-story, 20,000 square foot office building development on a 3.3 acre site located at 2165 North Road, Snellville, Georgia. And that's tax parcels 5039220 and 5039273. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive first reading on RZ 22-01, place it on the agenda for second reading on the February 28th meeting.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. And then finally, we have item E, first reading SUP 22-03, consideration and recommendation on application by I'm not sure how to say this, Ganjot, Sambi member Barlock 19 LLC is the applicant, and Vikram Chahardi, property owner, requesting a special use permit to develop and operate a 4-story, 42,000 square foot, 82-room Avid brand ING hotel on a 2.15 acre tract zoned BG General Business District and located at 2785 West Main Street, Snellville. That's tax parcel 5007285. Is there a motion?
Motion to waive the first reading of SUP 22-03 and place it on the agenda for February 28th for a second reading and public hearing.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. So that will close our public hearing items. All of these items that we named here that are on the agenda, you can find more information on the city's website under zoning projects, if you'd like to get more details about them. Next, we have 2 items under our consent agenda. We have item A, approval to grant access easement to Oy's Law Group for 2870 West Main Street. And item B, consideration and action on adoption of the TW Briscoe Park Master Plan. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. We have no old business, and we have several items under new business. We have item A, a second reading, ordinance 2022-01, to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Snellville, Georgia, Chapter 42, Parks and Recreation, to provide for provisions regarding special use permits for outdoor sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages on park property. This is a second reading of the ordinance, and this ordinance would allow, if this passes, the ordinance would allow the park to do special events where they can sell and serve alcohol at the event. So it would be in a controlled environment, in a contained area. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance 2022-01 as read by the mayor.
There is a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I got Dave as a second. With that, all in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. Next, I have a nomination for Lori Ann Spears to our Board of Appeals Post 6 with an expiration date of June 30th of 2023. That is my nomination, and I ask for council's confirmation. All in favor of Ms. Spears to the Board of Appeals, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. I don't think Lori Ann made it tonight. But we're very pleased to have Lori Ann come to our Board of Appeals. We have item C, consideration and action on approval of the fiscal year 2021 to 2022 budget amendment. So this is for a budget amendment for our last fiscal year that closed last June. Butch, do you want to give any kind of comment on that?
Basically, this is a housekeeping measure that we do every year before the issuance of our audit, and it's really good news. The overall end of year surplus increased by almost $2.7 million. We had increased revenues of almost $3 million. Expenditures were right about $250,000 over the budget, and that was due mostly to utilities, an increase in utilities and group insurance and building inspector fees. Building inspector fees is kind of a double-edged sword. We have had record-setting permit issuance, both commercial and residential, over the last few years, but the building inspector fees go along with that. There's a lot more to inspect. So I would just, I will be glad to go over any specific questions over the next days with the mayor and council, and that's basically the overview.
Thank you, Butch. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, make a motion that we move consideration and action on approval of the fiscal year budget 2021-2022 budget amendment to our next regular meeting agenda on February the 28th.
Okay, there's a motion to postpone this to the February 28th meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. So we'll take this up at our next meeting. And then we have consideration and action on the approval of the 2022 Snellville Tourism and Trade Contract. The city contracts with the organization Snellville Tourism and Trade to run our events and do other promotion for the city as our direct marketing organization. And every year we approve the contract with them. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the 2022 Snellville Tourism and Trade Association contract.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
So a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. With that, that ends all of our regular business in our meeting, so we will move to council reports, and we'll start with Councilmember Solange Destang.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you again. This month, February, is African American Heritage Month. We take this month as an opportunity to understand Black histories, going beyond stories of racism and slavery to spotlight the Black achievement. Hope you can join in some of the online or in-person events around Gwinnett County and elsewhere, because they're doing a lot of events all around. In lieu of conducting our Briscoe Park Service project on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, it was moved to February 5th. Once at the park, I was asked to join the Snellville Youth Commission group since I knew the chaperones. I'm very proud to say that the amount of work the youth put in was enormous. You can clearly see that they are an exemplary group of students in the way they delivered their services where it was needed, and you can be very proud of them, Chrissy. I enjoyed spending some time with them. In case you haven't noticed, Snellville is a little bit cleaner today. As part of my beautification project for Snellville, I gathered most of the eyesores that I could find in Snellville, and together with our city managers and our code enforcement officer, we got rid of all but just one of the nuisances. Remember that if you see any trash or a blight area in our city, so please don't hesitate to contact our code enforcement officer, Johnny Green, and we know that he will take care of it. Just a little heads up before I stop talking. As you can see, our street lights are staying on, and this will, of course, be an ongoing project that I'm working on, and it will be, an effort on my part to make the city brighter, one bulb at a time, for all of us. On this note, I want to wish you all a beautiful evening. Please stay safe until I see you guys again. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Solange. Councilmember Warner?
Well, I'd like to wish everybody who's here, evidently y'all are single and you're here on Valentine's Day. Thank you for coming out and taking interest in what's going on in your city. We have a program that has been ongoing with the Snellville Police Department for, good Lord, it's got to be almost 16 years now. They've had 31 classes of the Citizens Police Academy. And the next group starts on March 9th, 10th, or we'll keep bidding until we get it right. On March 10th, if you have any interest in learning on what actually happens in a traffic stop, in a property clearing, in a shoot or no shoot situation, domestic interventions, all of these topics are covered under the Snellville Citizens Police Academy. It meets for 10 weeks on Thursday evenings beginning at 6 p.m. If you're interested, contact any one of your city council members, or the information is online on the Snellville City Police or City website, and it's also on the Snellville Police Department's Facebook page. So please get your applications in. It is free to the public, whether you live in the city or not. And I can't express enough how amazing it is to see what our officers do day to day and be put in 1/10 of those situations, and see how you'd react. So please support the police department in spending your time with them, and thank you very much for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Todd. Councilmember Linsky?
Okay. I have a few pictures to share with you and some of the activities just from the month of February for Snellville Youth Commission. I apologize that some of them are a little blurry. I was trying to put this together and make them as visible as possible, but our Youth Commission has become such a showpiece for our community. The leadership skills that our students have developed are amazing. This is, of course, the service project that Councilwoman DeStang helped us with, and the students really, really did an outstanding job. Some of them brought their own equipment and worked very hard to make our parks the best they can be. This past Saturday, we did have a meeting here at City Hall with our Congresswoman Carolyn Bordeaux, and the students, again, had outstanding questions. They had questions about committee assignments, very specific pieces of legislation that Congresswoman Bordeaux is working on. So they were most impressive. And in fact, Congresswoman Bordeaux presented the Snellville Youth Commission with a very special certificate of achievement. So please, please, just keep sending us young people for community engagement leadership. And I really appreciate Mayor and City Council for continuing to support this program. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, and a special thank you to Snellville Tourism and Trade for these lovely cookies that were here waiting for us that I'm sure I will not eat all at once. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Councilmember Schultz?
Yeah, I'd like to also wish everybody happy Valentine's Day, and I'll point out to Councilmember Warner that some of us are married that are here tonight. My husband and I went out for Valentine's breakfast today, and we started counting the years, and we determined this is the 55th Valentine's Day that we've been together. So I encourage all of you to a lifetime goes by pretty quickly. Make every day count. I want to also comment on the cleanup that Councilmember DeStang mentioned. Early last week, as I was driving down Highway 124, I was appalled at the amount of litter that I saw that was in the right-of-way at Snellville Pavilion. And I talked to Butch Sanders about it, and so he made some calls, and he found out that the county would not clean it up because it was a state highway. The state would only do it if it was a road hazard. Leave it to our wonderful Public Works Department. It was totally cleaned up. It seems like a truck carrying a load of sheetrock apparently lost part of its load, and there was just stuff all over the right-of-way. It was awful. So I wanted to give a special shout out to our Public Works folks that stepped up to the task when nobody else would seem to want to do it. The other thing I wanted to mention, we were all at a meeting last week that was attended by mayors and council members from the Gwinnett County area, and the speaker at the meeting was Charles Pace, who is the director of the Gwinnett County Library system. And he gave a very interesting talk telling us about all the services the library offers, which it's amazing what they do offer that I was not even aware of. And during his talk, he showed pictures of all of the libraries all over Gwinnett County. And Snellville, I want to tell you, you're going to be so proud. Ours was the last picture he showed, and he showed the architectural rendering of our new library. I mean, everybody in the room was just so complimentary of our library, and they were asking, who's your architect, you know? I just want to tell you, you're going to be very, very proud. And it just made all of us proud that night to see how everybody reacted to our architectural rendering. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We appreciate it. I know it's a night some of you would probably rather be at home with a loved one, so we're very appreciative that you're here.
Or with your 5 cats or dogs, or Mayor Pro Tem Emanuel.
Well, I can't think of a better way to spend Valentine's Day than at a city council meeting. I don't know what all the hubbub's about, but every year when the state legislature gets together, I think city leaders everywhere shudder because it seems like there's always at least one bill that comes up that's designed to take control and power away from city councils and sometimes from state commissions. This year it is HB 1093. And if you go to the Snellville Proud Facebook page, I've posted a link to an article that tells you just how this wonderful bill is being presented. And it essentially removes all control over residential development. So if I'm a real estate developer, I can come in, buy a couple of houses, knock them down, and put up apartments. You really need to read it, and you need to contact the members of the Judiciary Committee that's reviewing it and send them your thoughts, because this would really be devastating for most communities, because it's a deal to pretty much let developers and corporate renters do whatever they want. And they could do it right next to your house because the city would have no control. And all you have to do is say, well, we anticipate that this rental property could be rented. And if it's rented for more than 30 days, then anybody can move in and move out, which to me says that's just a grand opening for sex traffickers, because they like short-term rentals, because there's less supervision and oversight than there are in hotels and motels. So I would urge you to take a look at the article and contact the people. Their emails are listed at the bottom of the article, and just tell them that you're opposed to HB 1093. And then next week, we'll probably have another one that they'll come up with that'll be equally bad. Thanks again for attending tonight.
Thank you, Dave, and I'll keep my report short. A happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Thank you for coming out tonight. We do have a lot of great things going on in the city. We had a great council retreat a couple weeks ago. We've got a good set of plans that we're working on. The city has received a lot of money in the ARPA funds, the American Rescue Act, and so we're working on how we want to allocate those funds for sidewalk and street improvements and other improvements for the city. So we're working on that, and of course we've got all of the construction going on with the Grove, so we're knee-deep in all of that. So just a lot of great things happening here, and we appreciate all of your support. If you ever have any questions or concerns, feel free to let us know. With that, I will close the mayor's report and open the floor to public comment. If anyone would like to come up and address the council, you've come on up and give us your name and address for the record.
Kelly McAloon, 2916 Overwood Lane, Snellville, Georgia. I just want to say on behalf of Snellville Tourism and Trade that we thank the mayor and council, and I want to thank the city manager and assistant city manager for signing that contract with Snellville Tourism and Trade, and we look forward to another great year promoting Snellville. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Is there anyone else?
Good evening, Melvin Everson, 1725 Winding Creek Circle. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone, Mayor and Council. Thank you all so much. Two quick things here in regards to Gwinnett Tech, and I need you all to help me promote this. On March the 5th, 2022, from 10 to 2, we will have the first job fair on campus with 5 major contractors hiring everything. And I'm going to send this PDF to you all so you can advertise it. I sent it to Commissioner Jasper Watkins, and we're going to, they're going to help us advertise it as well. We've been working on this for the last 3 months. And so they're looking for natural gas technicians, administrator, supervisor, maintenance, utility workers, and it's 5 major contractors. Atlanta Gas Light is one of those. So when I send this to you, you'd be so kind to promote it in the city, we would greatly appreciate it. Also, the new building, the Emerging Technology Building, is coming along just fine. We are scheduled to move in January of 23. I met with Dr. Cannon today, and you all will be receiving a formal invitation before we open it up to the public so you can come to it. We're very proud of it. As I said before, it's $34.8 million, Emerging Technology Building, cybersecurity, computer programming, et cetera. And we're looking forward to you all being there for that. Also, in addition to that, we just made another historic move at Gwinnett Tech. Sandra Pryor, who was police officer with Gwinnett County, she's now chief of police at the campus police there. We made that official on Monday, and Dr. Cannon made that official on Monday. So we are very proud of that. In addition to that, Congress Lady Carolyn Bordeaux will be back on campus February the 21st to make a major announcement. Just listen out for that. And that's all I have. Thank you all so much for what you do. Right?
Thank you, Melvin.
Hello, Rebecca Mitchell, 3332 Crossing Drive. Since the state legislature was brought up, I just wanted to come up and let folks know that if you do see a bill that you don't like, there's additional options too. The sponsors of the bill are sometimes amenable to being convinced that they should change some of the language if folks reach out to them. And you can always reach out to your local state house rep as well and let them know where you stand, because in the end, they are your vote at the state house. And the more emails we get one way or the other, the more we're able to find out how bills will impact us locally. So I encourage you to reach out to both your rep and your state senator as well. Thank you.
Why don't you provide your email address?
Sure. My email is rebecca.mitchell@house.ga.gov. We like knowing bills you do like too. So things that you think are positive, it's nice to get those emails too. They're rarer, but we appreciate everyone.
We just have to find one.
I wrote several.
We'll look for those. We're in that same boat. Usually if people like something, we never hear a peep. It's when they don't like it is when we hear the most. Anyone else?
Hey, Stephanie McDonald. What's my address? 1957 Tanglewood Drive, Snellville, Georgia. I almost gave the studio address. I own Snellville Performing Arts. It always feels weird looking at you guys and they're behind me. It's bizarre. Anyway, I own Snellville Performing Arts, and this last week, I guess, we were made aware that a number of the elementary schools in our area had to cut the number of tickets that they were able to sell for their father-daughter dance or their mother-son dances or their family dances and that stuff. So I just wanted to make sure, or let you guys know, and anyone else that would like to know, that Snellville Performing Arts has stepped up. And 2 weeks from now, we're hosting an additional community father-daughter dance, and then a week later, we're hosting a family dance for anyone who would also like to come to those who have alternative families, grandparents, or 2 moms or 2 dads, or step-parents, or any of that kind of stuff that would like to come and be able to do those kinds of things as well. So we have those going on, and they're on our page and all over the place too.
Thank you, Stephanie. We appreciate that. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close the public comment and entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. That is 6 in favor and none opposed. It is 8:06. Thank you all for coming out. Drive safely.